All right, Section 1, the blueprint and the ground, mapping the mechanics.
Think of this as our master architectural blueprint. Keys 1 through 7 map out this amazing ascending journey. You start all the way down at key 1 with I manifest, and then move upward through feeling, doing, breathing, speaking, and imagining until you finally reach key 7, I am. You absolutely cannot build a stable vessel without following this exact upward sequence. It's structural.
Starting right at the base with key 1, the red earth center. This stage beautifully illustrates that spiritual growth actually kicks off by mastering your physical reality rather than trying to somehow escape it. This key is all about discipline, taking responsibility, and consistent action. Your physical body is essentially a sacred vessel designed to collect experience. So, kind of like a deeply rooted tree, you've got to learn to stand firmly on the ground before you can even think about reaching for the sky. You know, people often think spiritual growth is all about levitating in a cave somewhere, but it really starts with the basics, like paying your bills and mastering your daily habits.
Because here's the absolute truth. You cannot skip the ground you are standing on in search of the sky. High-minded intentions mean absolutely nothing without consistent, grounded physical effort backing them up. Just wishing for things rarely gets it done, right? Manifestation always follows action. You build that solid foundation first through your daily habits, and then your journey can continue upward.
Moving right along to Section 2, the fuel and the spark. That's keys 2 and 3.
Now we're moving up into the internal engines of the vessel. Key 2 is the glowing orange waters of memory. This center represents the soul as the eternal receiver, the subconscious archive of every single experience you've ever had. To build a strong foundation here, you've got to audit your subconscious patterns. We need to start treating our emotions simply as energy in motion. They aren't inherently good or bad. They're really just messengers carrying data about our inner world.
And you've got to remember this, it's so important. What remains hidden controls behavior. Literally. If you don't examine your subconscious, your old wounds are just going to quietly dictate your life behind the scenes. Practicing forgiveness is actually the mechanical tool we use for this. You don't forgive to let someone else off the hook. You forgive to clear stagnant, heavy energy out of your own internal archive so it stops controlling your present reality.
All that clearing naturally ignites key 3, the yellow fire of will. Because if water receives, fire moves. This is where the spirit acts as the prime mover. It's the active force that firmly states, I will. It aligns your thoughts, your emotions, and your intentions toward one chosen purpose, using this concentrated focus to forge pure potential into tangible reality. And just look at the sheer precision of this clockwork mechanism. It's called the chain of manifestation, and it's a very specific sequence. Consciousness directs attention. Attention directs energy. Energy directs action. And finally, action produces results. By concentrating your focus and making deliberate choices, you create the momentum you need for actual real-world transformation. Spirit literally transforms possibility into reality through movement.
Ascending now to Section 3, the bridge of integration. Key 4, the heart gateway.
This is key 4, the green center of balance. The heart acts as a vital interface, harmonizing the soul's deep feelings with the spirit's active thoughts. It's that crucial fulcrum where your inner understanding and your outer willpower finally shake hands and collaborate. Because without this bridge in place, your thoughts become totally cold and your feelings become incredibly unstable.
It's really all about balancing complementary forces. On one hand, you've got the masculine spirit, which provides structure, action, and focus in the lower outer world. And on the other hand, the feminine soul, providing emotion, reception, and intuition from the upper inner world. The heart gateway teaches us that love in the center isn't just some fleeting romantic feeling, it's a disciplined service. It's about achieving a deep harmony between these forces so they actually strengthen each other rather than trying to dominate one another. Up next, Section 4, Expression and Blueprinting, Keys 5 and 6.
Here we find Key 5, the blue voice of creation. Now, this key is entirely focused on the immense power of communication. Building this foundation requires deep honesty, absolute integrity when keeping your promises, and the real courage to express your unique truth to the world. The voice of creation directs your internal energy outward, which carries a massive responsibility when it comes to the spoken word. The sequence is vital here. First you imagine it, then you speak it, then you build it, and then ultimately, you become it.
Which leads us perfectly into Key 6, the purple eye of vision.
This is all about using your imagination as a mental geometric blueprint for future creation. It grants you the incredible foresight to see patterns and possibilities far beyond just immediate physical appearances. But there's a catch. It has to remain balanced by grounded discernment. You have to ensure your grand visions stay firmly connected to that physical reality we already established back in Key 1.
And finally, we reach the top. Section 5, Seating the Sovereign Self. Key 7, The Crown. This is the culmination of the whole project, Key 7, the crown of self, also known as the throne, glowing in lavender. Keys 1 through 6 basically built the machinery, right? The body, the soul, the spirit, the heart, the voice, and the vision. But Key 7 is where the I Am observer finally takes a seat on the throne. This is exactly where you bring the ego into proper order under the self, stepping up and taking full, unwavering responsibility for your choices as a conscious creator. The most crucial thing to understand about the crown's function is that it provides divine identity and absolute alignment. Seating yourself at this center of choice gives you the rock-solid base you need to eventually align with Source. It's the total alignment of self, soul, spirit, and mind. It represents that monumental shift from just passively existing day-to-day to consciously and actively participating in your own existence.
So this leaves us with one final, provocative question for you to chew on. Now that your vessel is built, how will you govern it as the conscious architect of your reality? The tools and the mechanics are literally right there in your hands. Are you going to continue being pushed around by old emotional wounds and scattered impulses, or are you ready to claim your spiritual authority on the throne of choice? Take this blueprint, step off autopilot, and start building.